I'm about to show my clicker. Okay, thank you. Please, two. Just think back to the old days when you had to over to a television to turn the channels. No one knows suffering. I'm Reverend Michelle Buhite, the minister of this congregation. My pronouns, which I offer to create a truly inclusive and brave for all to live into the fullness of their identities, are she and her. Today, I am playing second fiddle to our guest speaker, John Snodgrass. John is an insightful and entertaining speaker. I'm pleased to have him here to share his thoughts. And John, I've tallied the number of Sundays that you've been with us, and I think your attendance record makes you an honorary member. So, and we can make that official. You just let me know. If anybody in the room has been just the membership book, sign the book. See me after the service. I would be delighted to welcome you into that next level of participation. So John, now that I've embarrassed you, please come up and share a welcome with us.
Well, good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you. So the guy went to the dog breeder and he was looking at various dogs. And the breeder said, well, this is the best bred dog in the world. And the guy said, can he talk? The breeder said, better than that. This dog is so well bred that if he could talk, he wouldn't talk to either of us. Welcome to this place, which we make holy by our presence. These doors are open. Bring your brokenness and your power. Bring your fatigue, your early morning aches, and your energy, your fears and anxieties and hopes, for here you need not hide nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where the ordinary sanctified, where the human is celebrated, is strength. Welcome to this place. Together, we make it a holy place.
We are so glad each one of you is here today. If you are a newcomer, we hope that you'll keep coming back and make this place. For those of you who have already made UU Amherst home, we hope you will continue to challenge yourself to grow and discover opportunities to learn and serve, and this is our best kept secret, have fun. Service, you find it a little difficult to hear, please feel free to move. It's very lonely up here, I just have to say that. There's always plenty of room, and we have assistive hearing headsets at the back of the chapel at the usher station. So you to be as comfortable and as engaged as you can be. For those of us gathered in the chapel, I urge you to either place your phone on airplane mode or to turn it off completely to free up web bandwidth for the live stream. Remember that we do have a wider community than we can see that joins us online now, live stream, and later on YouTube. So our attention experience is truly a gift. Everything about our time together has been carefully crafted to create a cohesive experience. So let yourself relax and be fully present to what unfolds around and within you. Today, Lori Kaznicki will assist as we acknowledge the land and light the chalice. When we gather, we employ the elements of water and fire to create the sacred space where we can be fully present. We begin with an acknowledgement that our church is holy ground, land that was nurtured and cultivated by those who occupied it before us. And so we offer a libation as our giveaway, as we honor the struggle of all people seeking justice and peace. We seek courage and the wisdom to heal wounds of the past and to build a better future story with all our neighbors and fellow creatures together. It is also our custom when we gather to light a chalice. A chalice is a cup or a vessel that symbolizes the gathered community. So please offer our customary words. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Thanks, Laurie. Our gathering music this morning can be found in the Teal hymnal. It's number 1. There's a river flowing. Please rise and bow to your spirit as we sing. Count us in, Ron. Flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart, in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing, there's a river flowing, there's a river flowing in my soul. Awesome. You may be seated. Isn't that fun? As we gather, we find warmth in one another's company, in the soft glow of friendship. We entrust one another with our joys, our concerns, and our sorrows. I invite you to come to the table that is at the heart of UU Amherst, and to bring your whole complicated selves, to place a stone or a shell in honor of all that you carry and all that you are willing to put down, if just for an hour, this beloved community. Come forward as you will. Thank you, Ron. The audio was off for a long time. Sorry about that, y'all. As we share these breaths, we bring those that we carry with us, even if they are not present. We bring into our circle of love and care those who are ill, and caring for them. Those who are in pain, either in body or in spirit. Those who are lonely. Those who... We are grateful for this and these people. May all be healed and may all be loved. Amen. And blessed be. So I have my Wonder Box at the ready in case there are any children that might want to. Plus, Poppy is dressed up. Poppy, will you come up and spend with me? Oh, it's Wonder Box. I wonder what's in it. Oh, you want to be up here? Okay. What is that? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I would say I'm safe down there with Katie and Molly. Okay, something's going on in this box. Just in case it's like, I don't know, something that might have fallen apart. In case there's a cat there. You ever had a cat in a box? They don't like it at all. Oh my goodness. It's my good friend, Jeffrey. Jeffrey the porcupine. But he's a soft porcupine. He's of a very special breed where those quills don't hurt anybody. But everybody thinks it could. So everyone walks around Jeffrey long ways around, don't they? Well, yeah, they do. I'm kind of worried about that, though. Because what if they don't like me? What if they're so afraid that I'll get angry and whew, my quills go? Who talks about that, Reverend Michelle? Oh, nobody till today, apparently. So what about Jeffrey? Well, sometimes I forget to bring my lunch to school. And then I have to ask the teacher. Oh, it's so embarrassing. It makes me so anxious to have to ask for some help. Well, for help is a really good thing. Asking for help is hard, but it's a good thing. You don't have to worry about that. But I have so many worries. Do you know my friend Teddy? You mean the famous Teddy the porcupine? Yes. Oh, he has big anxieties too. I have a special video that I made of him. I'm a very good. Maybe we could play the video. There he is.
Would you like some corn on the cob? What is that? Oh my goodness. You have it?
More sound?
Drop it. Here's Teddy and his corn on the cob. He loves corn. Teddy? With me? Can I have it? No. Let me have it. You won't share?
So that's my friend Teddy, and I've made all kinds of videos about him. So you can see him on YouTube. The commercial was brought to you by YouTube. And Jeff. So one of the things that Freddie is also a little is getting his toenails cut, his fingernails cut, and so he doesn't go, and they get kind of long. He gets very anxious. Oh. Well, I understand your anxiety, but you're among friends, and so you don't have to be quite so anxious, okay? Is that a deal? Maybe we should let you go to their activities. Would you like that? Oh, I would love that. Oh, Molly, will you take me? Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. Oops, mm-hmm. My own voice is back. Let's sing our children out, shall we? Advance a slide, please. Thank you. Anxiety, right? Fear, part of the human. For our moment of meditation today, I invite you to sing with me When I Am Frightened. You'll find it in the Teal Hymnal, 1012. It's also what Rick was playing during time, so you already have the melody in your heads. We do those things. So if you'll advance slides, we'll sing together. Just remain seated. This is meditation. And John.
Well, next week will be the 10th anniversary of Elizabeth and we came and we bought a large, we filled it to capacity. We moved in with 3 kids, but there was just a little bit elbow room left over, and we filled that too. Birth to William on our couch, and now we are 6. 2 children, 2 teenagers, and 2 adults. As the person who does all of the laundry, most of the cooking, only one who knows how to replace a toilet paper roll. I've explained it, I've demonstrated it, but still, every time a roll runs out, I find a new one on the floor. Nobody else with the little springy. I don't know what it calls itself, but I know how it thinks, and I know what it wants. I can make it work. But you can't explain to children. You got springy. Also, I'm the one who gets to dig the hair clogs out of the drains. And the hair I pull out of the drains is always gray. Like yellow, orange, auburn, brown, and Elizabeth tells me my hair is black. I don't believe it, but she's a doctor and a redhead, so I don't argue. We've got half a rainbow. You mix them all together in a drain, and somehow magically, it's gunmetal gray. Anyway, as the guy in charge of the drain clog, the weekly laundry piles, and the daily roll of toilet paper, I can report that our habitat is amply inhabited. But the population of 6 is just the people. Plus, we're dog owners. Now, our dog passed away, but we're still dog people, and the inevitability of our dog pretty much counts as having one. I'm holding out for one of those orange Welsh corgis. But eventually, I hold out long enough, some random dog will just appear out of nowhere, like our last one did. My son Malcolm has 2 ferrets. They somehow slink and weasel into his bureau, and they nestle pungently in the clothing that I have washed and folded. And we have an aquarium. Now, we used to have fish, and I think we got these like frogs to keep them company or clean the tank or something, but the frogs killed the fish, and they mostly float. They play dead. It's their favorite game. Or maybe they're in a staring contest with each other. Whatever it is, it's a lot out of them, because you walk by and drizzle a little bit of that dried shrimp in there, and they just swim like crazy. They settle back into whatever lazy game they're playing, floating either at the top or the bottom of the tank. So if you're keeping count, we're at 10 to be displaced by a medium dog. But that's not all. Because we've got kids who walk around with crumbly crackers in their hands, and teens who take turns leaving the kitchen a mess overnight. They're in a rotating schedule. One of them ignores the dishes while the other ignores the counters, and then the next night they switch roles. The next slide, please. And every so slow accumulation reaches a critical mass, and just when it seems that we're heading for some kind of household disaster, a cleaning crew materializes. Like nighttime elves trying to grant some desperate wish, and they pick up crumbs and they lick our unwiped kitchen counters. And the more mess we make, the more of them manifest. They even multiply. They make more of themselves. Or they would, except, well, this is the kind of cleaning crew that'll shock you in the morning, like when you turn on the light and they skitter and scatter away from the sink. And some of them scritchety scratch in the walls. And you know it's time to get to work. Because suddenly the population of your house has jumped from 10 to 100, and it'll be 10,000 by Tuesday. So at the first warning signs, we go into disaster mode, scorched earth. And I mean scorched earth in the sense that Elizabeth says, you know, it's just time we burn this place down and start over. And I say, no, we can handle this. We can take this house back. We tear the place apart and we put it back. And just to be clear here, when I talk about a messy house, I mean, and I know this is a little bit elitist, but I'm talking about the master's degree version of a messy house, not the high school dropout version. So adjust your mental image. Anyway, so the population of our house is in flux. There's a bunch of us. We get the occasional population boom, we bust it, and the cycle starts over. Pests. Or in a way, I call them pets, since the kids are always leaving food for them. You got to remind Malcolm 10 times to feed his ferret. They never forget to leave scum on the counters and crumbs. I feed them too, by which I mean peanut butter in snap traps. And I inject poison into the crannies. I even set up little motels. And they show up not to be the janitors. Roaches don't move into hotels. They just want to clean them and go home. And I encourage them, you know, take some of the continental breakfast with you when you go. I think of these guests as pests in my house, but that's culture, not nature. From nature's, I'm just passing through. A fleeting inconvenience, a bizarre artificial habitat, some strange box specifically designed to keep nature out, which is comical since the humans in the heart of nature. From nature's perspective, I live in a big piece of litter, something that Mother Earth will have to clean up eventually. Not just me in particular. From nature's perspective, Notre Dame and the Egyptian pyramids are just big chunks of man-made trash too. The termites see dead wood and they go to work. Never mind that the dead wood is a cathedral. Humans build temples and pyramids because we desperately want to believe that life has purpose, but secretly doubt it. Termites don't have existential crises. They don't even seem to care whether they exist or not. They just see a job to do, and they do it. I sit at a desk pondering the meaning of life. Sometimes I fill a page, sometimes I have nothing to say. But a termite would see the desk and just start eating it. Because the wood's not alive anymore. And then eventually termite droppings could fertilize and breed. Sigmund Freud wrote that you'll never convince a man that he's a termite. And sometimes I wish that Dr. Freud were wrong. Everything in nature has a job to do. Some creatures clean and make a mess. The human started as a scavenger, not a mighty hunter, but a biped jackal, waiting for the pride of lions to finish sloppily stuffing themselves with gazelle and wander off. And then the humans would show up and chew on the bones. And then critters would run off scraps. Insects would swarm the fragments, and bacteria would ingest the rest of the mess. But now the natural order is out of whack. Humans have stuffed the lions for museum pieces. The #1 trash producer on the planet, and outlawed waste management species. We've turned the mice and bugs into illegal vigilantes. International summit conferences about how to deal with the problems of pollution. And the creepy crawlies just keep cleaning. Insects appear on the first page of the Bible. God is a swampy chaos, all of the matter of creation, and starts dividing it, sky from slop, and then the slop into land. God populates the sea with fish and the sky with birds, and then on the 6th day, quote, God said, let the earth bring forth the cattle, the creeping things, the beasts after its kind. And it was so. God said, and nothing. So then God had to do it manually. The next verse, God made the beast of the earth after its kind, creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and God saw that it was good. God knew that all these birds and beasts and cattle would need someone to clean up after them. The creeps seemed good in the beginning, but in their next biblical moment, they will appear as one of the plagues that were used to punish the Egyptians for refusing to let God's people go. These disasters include lice, gnats, and flies, and then come the cicadas. The Lord made an east wind blow across the land, and locusts invaded all of Egypt and settled down in every area of the country in great numbers. They covered the ground until it was black. They devoured everything growing in the fields, the fruit on the trees. Nothing green remained on plant or tree in all the land of Egypt. The good news, the plague of insects probably cleaned up the prior plague when it rained dead frogs. These invaders were well-organized anarchists, as Proverbs, locusts, they advanced together in ranks. And also, they're kosher. Reveals to Moses on the mountaintop, you may eat any kind of locust, cricket, or grasshopper. John the Baptizer was famously an insect, subsisting on a diet of locusts and wild honey. And not to spoil the ending, but insects also had a big moment in the last book of the Bible, the Revelation, when God punishes the heathens and the pagans and the Unitarian Universalists. With an army of locusts the size of horses, with human faces, women's hair, it specifies for some reason. Men and women had the same hairstyles in the Bible. Lions' teeth and scorpions' teeth. And their tails, we read, have the power for 5 months. I'm not precisely certain what this might mean. Poison in their stingers was not lethal, but just enough to give unbelievers a hard case of seasonal depression. So the messages about creeping things, an essay on the topic. But what the Bible and the biology agree on is that the creeps shall inherit the earth. Turns out the TV news agrees on that too. Well, thank you. The Egyptians, who withstood the plague of insects, had a special religious veneration for scarab beetles, which roll up balls of dung to lay their eggs in. And they in this action a parallel with the God whose job it was to roll the sun across, if the sun was a big ball of, dung. Since the Egyptians believed that the sun was then swallowed by a goddess each night and rebirthed in the morning, the scarab also signified regeneration. So the scarab beetle, the dung beetle, is a common symbol in Egyptian jewelry. It was highly fashionable to go around ancient Egypt with amulets and rings depicting dung beetles. In ancient China, the insect of immortality was a cicada, which, depending on the specific type, can spend the first year or 16 years of its life underground, and then emerge, climb a tree, sing for a month, and die, having laid eggs of cicada babies, who will then fall to earth, burrow, and start the cycle all over again. So it became customary for the Chinese to bury dead relatives with a carved jade cicada in their mouth as a sign that burial was not the end of existence and that death is not the end of song. As a little boy who somehow ended up in Ohio, around 1987, I got to witness a great Cincinnati cicada awakening. And the elementary school prepped us a month of lessons and even a song to sing to the cicadas when they arrived. they came like a great humming cloud. They covered the trees. They left their hollow shells everywhere. Apparently, they had been sleeping in Cincinnati since 1971. Tom Jones settled them down by singing "She's a Lady." And they slept through classic rock, punk, and new wave, and they awakened to Whitney Houston singing "I Want to Dance with Somebody." Actually, come to think of it, that's the year everybody was listening to the Dirty Dancing soundtrack cassette. So they awakened to "I've Had the Time of My Life," and some of them thought that they had slept backward to the summer of 1963. In Greek mythology, the cicadas had been human musicians who were blessed by the muses with the power to sing and dance without ever needing rest or food. But because they never ate and they kept singing, it just got smaller and smaller and smaller until finally they shriveled down to look like dried crickets, and then they dropped dead. But the muses blessed them again with the ability to rise up singing every few years, perform months straight, drop dead, and then the cycle continued. The Athenians even made silver coins with cicada images, symbolizing devotion to the muses of song, dance, and poetry. I don't count my blessings as often as I should. And when I do, it would never occur to me to count all uninvited house guests. But I suppose in a way I should, because my anxieties are always festering somewhere in the back of my brain, creeping up on me, multiplying, sitting around. And you can't fumigate anxiety. I tried that once. It produces paranoia, which is even worse. Shakespeare said, "Shakespeare's sorrows come not in single spies, but in battalions." Definitely true of pests, true of worries. Well, I can't drain the swamps of Washington any more than I can clean up the mess in Israel. We did a deep cleaning of our kitchen. One little room in one little corner of the world. And even after one of those nights, lying awake in anxiety, coming downstairs to a safe, clean kids on an activity, taking a look around and asking, now what can I do to make this place a little warmer, a little safer, and a little bit less creepy? Thank you.
Thank you, John. Let's sing together. It's hymn number 1008 in the Teal Hymnal, "When Our Heart is in a Holy Place." I invite you to rise and bow to your spirit as we sing.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace when our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power in each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. Thank you. You may be seated.
Making a time for an offering of gifts and pledges is an opportunity for us to live into one of the core values of Unitarian Universalism, which is generosity. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. This congregation exists because of you, the acts of service that you engage in, and your generous contributions. Every aspect of congregational life is made possible because of the generosity of members and friends, and that's you. I see we are gathering baskets. It looks like we have one more need for a basket. Lori, you're on. So as the music plays and the baskets are passed, I offer you the opportunity to be part of the infrastructure of UU Amherst. In the same way that we light a chalice at the beginning of the service, we extinguish it at the end. And we do this not to quench the flame, but to return it to individual hearts. May each of us bring more light and love to a dark and hurting world. Please add your voices with mine. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. As our service draws to an end, our service to the world is just beginning. I invite you all to stay for coffee and conversation in the Emerson room. You can get there through any of the double doors, directly in through the doors to your left, your right when you turn around or walking out, or through the lobby. That is the place where church happens, where you connect with people and you meet new people or connect with old friends. So I encourage you, and I understand that there are introverts in the room for whom that is a real test, to go into that room filled with people. But I invite you to take the risk. Be brave. I might make it in there. We'll see. Parents, don't forget to pick up your children and bring them to coffee hour. We do have a little corner now in the Emerson room where kids have a space where they're welcome. As you are making your holiday plans, don't forget to include our winter solstice service, which is next Sunday, which I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around. That next Sunday is the 22nd of December. So I'll take a breath. We'll get there. The service will be at our usual time at 10:30. And then our Christmas Eve service, 2 days later, on the 24th, that service will be at 3 o'clock. These services are wildly different from one another. The solstice service is unapologetically pagan, and Christmas Eve is unapologetically the birth of the Christ child, because we can hold all of that. As always, you'll find many opportunities for community, for your personal growth, and to be in service. You'll find those in your order of service, on the website, the newsletter. This place becomes your place as you participate in the life of the congregation. I invite you to rise and embody your spirit. Jackie, would you mind closing that door? We're getting a feedback from, yeah, please. Thanks. So just so you know, if you ever have a coughing fit and are like, oh, I'm afraid to go back in, the service is streaming in the Emerson room, but it's on a delay. And so when the door is open, then it's like wah, 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 wah. And who needs that? Life is complicated enough. So I'm going to ask you to rise, embody your spirit, as we prepare to sing our closing blessing. And you know, for the first 2 verses, you might need to look at the words, but the third time, it's just the first time over again. And I really encourage you to look around and twinkle your eyes at people. And you know what that means, even if you wonder what that means. Let's sing together. Here we go. Travel light and travel easy till I see you once again. Travel light and travel easy and remember your friend. May the road rise up to greet you as you leave your past behind. I will think about you gently, and I'll hold you. Now twinkle. Advance. Till I see you once again. Travel light and travel easy, and remember I'm your friend. Please remain standing for the benediction, which John will offer.
Together, we have sanctified this space. If you have found strength and comfort here, share some out there. They need it. Remember that you are blessed and you are a blessing, and you are not alone.
Go in peace.